it's a staple in the metal community, and it's a vocal effect that is very used. I particularly like it because it has a rawness to it. I think it's a very nice way to express, and that way also release some maybe bottled up anger. So in a way, it's also like a sort of coping mechanism for frustration. So yeah, I really like it.
Can you give me your manliest manly voice? Oh, 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 oh. It's almost as if you were making sound like from your chest or even from your belly. It's just an image, of course. That's not true. Oh, oh. Yeah.
I love you.
The way that you do it in a healthy way is when in the beginning making a very dark sound makes it easier, and then really keeping track on how much you squeeze in there so that it's not too much. You should be able to speak with a clear voice afterwards. You shouldn't hear it in your voice. If you get hoarse, then you know that maybe you did a little bit too much. If you hear a lot of your voice in it, then maybe it's also not good. So we want a very nice, unbreathy sound that has like a very dark quality to it. And that makes it the easiest to learn in the beginning. You're already going to feel here if you're going to struggle with the air.
Went to winter school to brace.
That's very
Nice.
cool. Very cool. Okay.
I think if you go into the history of screaming in music, it has a much longer history than metal, but it's become an integral part of the alternative music scene, because it's actually the opposite of what people think about pop music, right? Pop music is nice, it sounds clear, and we're kind of the dark side of it, if you will, which means there needs to be a different sound to it, which in guitars is like high gain, high grit guitars, and that's basically the same thing that we do with our voice. So we make our voice gritty and dirty and rough and dark to kind of reflect that other side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I have lots of. There is it never sounds nice. Yes, you know everyone.
I love it.
Oh, it's in the
Place where the fundamental would be in your
I think the biggest misconception is the idea that we're a bunch of cavemen just doing stuff out of kind of only roughness, right? So like the appearance, metalheads are a very recognizable subculture of people, long hair, beards, black shirt. I'm really stereotyping myself here, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Whereas a lot of the misconceptions are like, oh, you need to be super brutal and you need to be like tough, like a biker almost, to be a part of that. Whereas in the professional side and in the industry side, most people are really kind, really warm, really tolerant, very inclusive. But you have to kind of take that first step.
For me, it's a really big outlet of emotion. Some things, like you can sing them in a clean way, and they, you get what they say, but when somebody screams it or when somebody puts power behind it, you actually like almost feel the emotion that they're trying to convey to you. So to me, it's one of the most purest forms of emotion, because when you're happy, you scream. When you're scared, you scream. When you're angry, you scream. When you're sad, you start screaming. So it's really emotional, and I think it can help people a lot also with getting that emotion out. That's at least how it works for me.
Be here at all?
The living skills is
today?
My parents, it was really like, at first when I started practicing, like in the shower or something, and they would like hear it and they're like, what are you doing in there? Are you like summoning a demon or something? Or like, what the hell are you doing? But they're not the biggest fan of this style of music, but they support me in what I do. So yeah, that's always great. They will always be my biggest fan, and not because they like my music, but just because, you know, they support me. So that's nice to have.